Okay, let's go. I'm not so sure about this, but you got to start somewhere, right? You know how they say when you put out a product or a service, the first version that you have out in the market that's publicly available should be a little bit embarrassing? I think I have achieved that goal. I think I have achieved that goal. I mean, look at this. The lighting is really flat. My face looks really flat. I'm like the focus, I'm not sure what's going on with the focus. I'm not really sure. The quality of the audio, I'm sure, is not great. I think you can probably even hear a little bit of an echo because, well, I'll explain why in just a second. But that's good because that's actually why I'm here. This whole series is about building a really nice studio in your home that you can then create professional grade content with, that you could either post on YouTube, that you could put into other kinds of products like what I do, or you could distribute to friends and family and be very proud of the way that it looks. Anyway, if you know me, my name is Martine Wilson, and I create educational content, usually around business, technology, sometimes with really specific performance that people have to do at work, all kinds of different things. And in the past, I had this really great studio where I was able to work with videographers, cinematographers, editors, and we created content together, and they understood all of the equipment and all of the integrations and all of the software. And now I'm building all of this from scratch in my own home. So if you are interested in how to put together a really cool studio without breaking the bank and without having to get, excuse me, bogged down in all of the different crazy decisions about the technology that you should buy, the software that you should buy, the processes that you should use, hit that like and subscribe button and follow along with me, and we'll learn together. It's going to be a cool journey. So, as I was saying, this process is complicated and difficult. And the reason that I'm making this channel is at first I wanted to just do it for myself because I want to document what I'm doing so I can come back and look at it in the future. But then it made me realize that I think that I'm not alone. There's a lot of people out there. That have content basically in their minds that they're ready to get out into the world, but then they start looking at the technological barriers or the different things that they need to buy and integrate and connect. There's all kinds of different pieces of gear, and they just don't know where to start. They get blocked and they abandon the project. And so this is going to be really helpful because I'm starting from a position that's more similar to your position. I'm a novice. You're a novice. I'm not an expert that's going to be able to tell you the exact sort of technical details of every answer or question that I have, but I'm going to be able to show you how I've made my decisions and how I've put together my studio. So right now, let me show you what I'm starting with. You're not going to be very impressed. I have iPhone SE. SE, yes, the cheapest iPhone that you can possibly buy. Shout out to El Cheapo. And I have this thing, the newer, it's like newer, but newer streaming LED, which is really just good for doing video conferencing. Let me adjust that a little bit. And having better quality like Zoom calls. That's why I got it. And that's all I have right now. So that means I'm going to have to improve the lighting. I'm going to have to improve the camera. I'm going to have to improve the audio. So those are the first three things that I'm going to be working with. And I'm going to walk you through my decisions for each thing. And it sort of depends on when they get here, but I'll give you one spoiler. The first thing that I'm going to improve, a lot of people think I'm going to do the video because when they think about YouTube, they think about video content and they think about having good image quality, but I'm not. What I'm going to do first is improve the microphones. So the next video is going to be about the decisions that I've made and what I've actually gone with in terms of microphones. The other thing that we're going to go through with each piece of gear or each sort of process that I'm working in is kind of I have sort of like a 3-pillar way of thinking about a new piece of equipment that I want to buy. First of all, it has to have an attractive cost for me because I don't want to buy the most expensive, highest end gear. Second, it has to have the quality that's going to work for me. So it's probably not going to be the best, but it needs to be good enough. Not perfect, but good. And then finally, and this is the one that's becoming more important, is it has to be easy to buy and sell on the second-hand market, because what I find is it really reduces your risk a lot if you know that you can sell a piece of gear secondhand. And also it reduces your cost if you can buy a piece of gear secondhand. And a lot of this stuff I'm going to attempt to buy secondhand. Some of it some of it I am going to have to buy new. And finally, as I go through this sort of building up of the studio, one of the things I'm going to have to think about is how I get my post-production done. Because as I said before, I had editors that I worked with. And this is going to be a big barrier for me because in addition to like software, you might have to get something like Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, but then you actually have to learn how to use it and build it into your workflow. And I don't think I'm going to take the time to do that. So that's something that I'm thinking about actively right now. If you have any great ideas about how you can get accessible editing of this style of video, let me know and I'll see if I can test that out or if we can at least talk about it on the channel. So stay tuned because the next video is going to be about audio, because you'll see that audio, especially with this kind of content, is extremely important. And if you don't spend some time putting in place a good audio solution, then you're going to have a lot of other problems with the sort of reception of your content later on. So stay tuned, and next time we're going to have much better audio.